Okay, this is going to be a video on systems of quadratics. I want to talk about what a system means first. What we're talking about when it refers to a quadratic in a line is how many spots that we have an intersection, okay? So in this case, on this one, we have 2, okay? So this is 2. This one has 1. This one doesn't intersect at all, so that's no solution, okay? If you have 2 quadratics, you could have these kinds of options. Here's what 2 could look like. 1, 2. What would 1 look like? 2 parabolas touching like this. What would none look like? This. So this is 2, 1, no solution. Okay? All right? All right. So now, we want to solve these algebraically, okay? All right, so we're given 2 quadratics, or quadratic in a line. We want to solve these algebraically. What we want to do is, if they're in y equals, we want them to set them equal to each other. Now, what you want to do is try to avoid the concept of x squared being negative. So I want to move all of these back over here. Okay, so that would be, I got x plus 3. Now this becomes positive x squared, positive x minus 6 equals 0. So I'm going to move all those this way. Now, I got my x squared. Okay, that's going away. All right, x and x would be 2x. 3 minus 6 would be negative 3 equals 0. And now you can solve this in any way you want. Okay, all right. Probably the easiest is factoring. All right, 3 and negative 1 would add up to 2. I would probably put that as negative 1, 3, okay? All right, so then I got x squared minus 1x minus plus 3x, sorry. Plus 3x minus 3. This is x, this is minus 1, this is x, this is plus 3. So I get x minus 1, x plus 3. I solve those. I can solve those through mental math. Okay, I got x equals 1, x equals negative 3. Now, what you have to do, all right, those represent the x values. So that's 1 and negative 3. What we're finding is we're finding coordinate points. Now what I want to do is I want to put this back into here, this back into here, okay? So I can just use my calculator real easy and do that. So I'm just going to put 1 where x is, okay? It'll give me 4. And if I put negative 3 where y is, where x is, I get 0, okay? So this is where it actually intersects. You have to be able to show this algebra, okay? We'll graph them at the end. All right, so this one, what I want to do is set these 2 things equal to each other. Now, my strategy would be I would move stuff this way, because that's the positive x squared. So I got 0, got the same thing I had before. Now I'm going to have positive x squared, positive x, negative 12, okay? So if I go to combine my x's, that's x squared and x squared is 2x squared. All right, so that's gone. 2x and 7x is 8x. This and this would be 0. Now, how would I solve that? I would solve that by factoring. What's my GCF here? It would be a 2x. If I took 2x out, I'd have x plus 4. And now I don't have to factor that any further. I'm going to set these factors equal to 0. And I'm going to solve them. X equals 0. This one by mental math, x equals negative 4. So I have the point 0, and I got the point negative 4. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those back in for x squared. Okay? All right? Now, what you have to do is make sure whatever you're putting in, you put in with parentheses. That's going to be 12. Same thing when you do the negative 4. Make sure that you are typing that with a parenthesis. It's going to be 0. Okay? All right? And those are where they intersect at. All right? Let's do another one. I got x squared minus 6x plus 5 equals negative 2x squared plus 9x minus 7. So I want to move these this way. Okay, so that's x squared minus 6x plus 5, positive 2x squared, negative 9x, positive 7 equals 0. Okay, this and this would combine to 3x squared. This and this, negative 6 minus 9, negative 15x. And then 5 plus 7 would be 12. Now, I see all those numbers there. I'm doing the quadratic formula, okay? All right, and how do we do the quadratic formula? B squared minus 4ac, okay? Where that's the B, that's the A, that's the C, okay? All right, that's what we did last unit. Negative 15 squared minus 4 times 3 times 12. Okay, now I got 81. I'm going to take the square root of 81, which would just be 9. So plus and minus 9. What goes in this spot? The opposite of B, which is 15. And this is 2 times A, which is 3. So 15 plus and minus 9 over 6. So that means 15 plus 9, then divide by 6. 15 minus 9, then divide by 6. 15 plus 9 would be 24, divided by 6 would be 4. 15 minus 9 would be 6, divided by 6 would be 1. So those would be, whoops, those are my x values. Okay, 4, 1, okay? And now I'm going to put those in. Now, just to demonstrate, if you wanted to put that into the bottom equation, what you would have to do is put the negative 2 on the outside. You don't have to choose that one, but if you type that in, that's the way that's got to look. Okay, all right? So if I put that 1 in, I put the squared plus 9, the 1, the minus 7. Is 0. Okay? All right, and that's my solution for that one. Okay? All right, you guys go ahead and try those. Okay, now it says solve the following systems by graphing. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to graph these things and find the intersections. Okay? All right? And now we're going to use Desmos for that. Okay? I'm sorry, Desmos. We're going to use the Casio for that. Now, this is the line y equals x. I'll move this, move that x over. All right? So that is negative x plus 1. So I can go ahead and graph that. That's up 1, then down 1. You may have to make a bunch of dots to make sure your graph is accurate. Okay. All right, and then I graph x squared. Oh, very good line. That's bad. I don't know why the marker's not. That's weird. Okay, then I got to graph x squared plus 1. Okay, now what you can do is you can go into your calculator, type both in, x squared plus 1. Okay, and then negative x plus 1. All right. If you draw it, G solve intersect. Okay, I get negative 1, 2. Okay. All right. That's an intersection point. And I hit over. 0, 1 is another one. Okay. All right. And so then what I have to do is I have to make the graph through that. Okay, we're going to sort of rough sketch these things. Okay, all right, so you have to be able to draw the intersection. Okay, if you want to draw the U shape, okay, what you can do, all right, G solve minimum 0, 1, G solve y intercept, y is 1. Okay, all right, so you got to be able to graph some of those things to help you come up with an accurate graph, but this ends up being the answer. Okay? All right, let's do another one. All right? So what I want to do, let's go ahead and graph these individually. Okay? And then we'll graph them together. Negative x squared minus x plus 12. All right? All right. I'm going to zoom out one time. All right. G solve max. I've got negative 0.5, 12.25. So negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So somewhere in there, G solve root, it crosses at negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it also crosses at 3, 1, 2, 3. The y-intercept is going to be 0, 12. Okay, so this graph looks like this. Okay, all right, now I'm going to graph the other one. X squared plus 7x plus 12. All right, G solve minimum, negative 3.5, negative 2.25, 1, 2, 3 and a half down here. Okay, all right, G solve root, negative 4, okay, and negative 3. Okay, G solve y-intercept all the way up here at 12. So what this looks like is this. All right, now my intersections here are here and here. You can sort of see them. Let's find out what they exactly are. G solve intersect. Oops, I have to put both equations in. I'm sorry, put both equations in now. All right, G solve intersect. One intersection is negative 4, 0. Hit over, the other one is 0, 12. So you got to be able to graph the things. So basically we want to graph each is x-intercepts, y-intercepts, and vertex. We want to graph each, and then we want to find the intersection. Okay? All right. Let's do one more. Okay? So what I want to do, let's graph one of these, and then we'll graph them both together. X squared minus 12x plus 5. All right, I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. Okay, G solve minimum. Now that goes way off the page, so we're not going to be able to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, down 1, 2, 3. It's all the way down here. Okay. All right, let's go G solve root. All right, 0.40. Okay. And I get over 11.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Somewhere out here. Okay. G solve y-intercept, 0, 5. All right, so this is sort of a rough sketch. Very rough sketch because it sort of really ran out of room. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and, okay, that's fine. All right, so then I'm going to do negative x squared plus 5. Draw, okay. G solve maximum, 0, 5. Okay. Then I got G solve root, negative 2.23. And then I hit over, 2.23. Okay. And G solve y-intercept, I already have that at 0, 5. So here's my other graph. Okay. And let's find, we clearly see that there's two solutions. All right, G solve intersect. Oh, whoops, I keep doing that. Keep forgetting to put the other one back in once I get there. G solve intersect. One of the intersections is 0, 5. I hit over, the other one is 6 and negative 31. That's tough. So sometimes we do need to use that calculator, all right, in the utility. So as long as you make a rough sketch, we're in good shape, okay? All right. So what I'd like you guys to do, okay, go ahead and try these. And that concludes the systems video.